experts at the National Hurricane Center. We'll be checking in with those people periodically throughout the morning. Henry?
I think that what's happening now is that people in South Florida are experiencing the probably maximum forces of this extreme hurricane and are going to be experiencing this for quite some time. And then we're going to get those backside winds coming from the opposite direction. And we talk about those as if it was a relief, Bob, that we would finally be getting them. It is not relief.
No, they're generally as strong and at times even stronger than the leading edge, but rarely as stronger. It's generally just about as strong, and then you'll find as the storm moves farther away from you, it starts to pull away, and I think we'll get relief a little quicker than we saw it come in. It'll leave faster than it came in.
And what we're talking about now is sometime this afternoon you should get some relief.
I think so. I think we're going to start seeing the winds ease up for the southeast coast probably 1, 2, maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So we've got some period of time to go here, maybe 10 hours of relatively strong winds and some more rain and
was that
tornado.
Susan Soper
She's sighing over there. She wants to go home and see what's happened to our house. I know.
I think
too.
everybody, we kind of know what to expect when we do finally step outside, but it's very difficult to think about what that is going to look like.
Let's go now to Elaine Ettore, who is in Broward County at Emergency Control Center there. Well, hello, Elaine.
Well, good morning, Henry. As you can imagine, it probably looks much the same up here as it does in Dade County. We've got transformers blowing out, creating a fantastic light show in the sky. As you can imagine, high winds and heavy rain pounding the Fort Lauderdale area. And, of course, officials don't expect the brunt of the storm to be felt here for about another hour or so. I just spoke with Nick Navarro, which I understand you did as well. He says there have been no calls, as far as he knows, for any storm-related injuries. He had been out driving around looking at some of the damage so far. There are some palm trees down. I can see them out the window here at the county administration building. But other than that's about where it stands in Fort Lauderdale right now.
Elaine, what have you heard in terms of power outages? I know many of them are scattered. Do you have any idea how much of Broward might be affected by that?
That I don't know for sure. I do understand that power is out in the North Lauderdale area. The lights here in the county administration building, which is at Broward and Andrews, were flickering. We kind of expected them to go out at any moment, but they haven't. They seem to be on now for the duration, or at least for the next a short while. They were flickering for quite a while there, but they did not go out. So fortunately, we're not on a generator yet here.
Elaine, have you been outside at all? Have you
I certainly have.
And tell us what it's like.
Well, obviously, you can hear the wind. It's just, it's pounding. And like I said, we're not expecting the full brunt of the storm here for another hour or so. And it's loud. It's very wet. It's very windy. As I said, there are palm trees down. Transformers are blowing. But it's much of what you would expect for this. And as Nick Navarro said, not bad at all.
What would you estimate the winds? 80, 90?
They don't seem that strong to me, Bob. I'm not as good an estimator of that as you are probably, but I would say maybe 50 or 60. I mean, they don't sting your face when you're out there, standing in it. It's tolerable.
I don't see that you're getting most of the worst stuff right now.
Yeah, this may be the worst for Fort Lauderdale at this time.
Well, I can tell you that I think most officials here think that if this is the worst, we're in good shape here.
Yeah, there'll be a couple of squalls come through, maybe a thunderstorm or so that would be, like any other time of the year where you get a strong thunderstorm. But I don't foresee any more pickup of winds. I think the bulk of it is over Dade County.
Well, that's good news to officials here then, because they were just telling me, I just talked to the county administrator and a few other people, they really thought that things would be picking up within the next hour or so.
Unless radar is extremely deceiving to us right in here, you're in pretty good shape.
Well, that's good news to us.
Laney, we'll be checking back with you throughout the morning.
Okay, I'll be here.
Okay, thank you. We do want to stress, or we can't reiterate enough, that mandatory evacuations are underway for Fort Myers now.
Right.
And they have definitely got to start heeding the warnings, even as we speak, because this thing is heading directly for the West Coast now. They have got to start taking their precautions.
Right.
News Talk Radio, 620 WSUN. Good morning. It's 10 minutes after 5 o'clock, 5:10. This is Keith Connors at the WSUN studios. You're listening to live coverage of Hurricane Andrew from our sister radio station, WIOD, in Miami. Ken Stevens and Sharon Taylor are here, and they will update you with closings in the Tampa Bay area. And we'll have complete coverage of Hurricane Andrew throughout the morning. We'll stay with the storm. Hurricane warnings are in effect from Venice south through today. Tropical storm warning and hurricane watch north of Venice to Bayport, including the Tampa Bay area through today. Now, the tornado watch is in effect until 11 a.m. for Manatee and Sarasota counties, also for Polk, DeSoto, Hardee, Highlands, Charlotte, and Lee counties and their coastal waters. Otherwise today, rainy with hurricane and tropical storm force winds, decreasing this afternoon with a high in the upper 80s. Tonight and Tuesday, partly cloudy. Chance of more afternoon and evening thunderstorms, low in the low 70s with a high near 90 tomorrow. In the Bay Area right now in Tampa, it's 78 degrees. St. Petersburg and Clearwater, 81 degrees. As a testament to the storm's strength, top winds are expected to remain in the 125-mile-per-hour range as Andrew turns across land for several hours this morning. Wind speeds are expected to increase again as the storm enters the Gulf of Mexico, which is our concern because where does it go from there? Now, if the path holds that the storm Andrew is on currently, if that path holds, the Tampa Bay area should escape all but a hint of the destructive powers. Winds in the area are forecast to climb no higher than 40 miles per hour before subsiding to 20 to 30 miles per hour by this afternoon. Now, that is if the path holds as it is right now, but that can always change. So stay tuned to 620 WSUN. We will right now go back to Miami. Live coverage from WIOD in Miami of Hurricane Andrew.
Again, this is just a guess. Would be that yes, we will. We'll get damage control reports in here from police and fire. We do have a lot of the chiefs here. They have been updating us throughout the night. And as we get a real handle on this, I believe that we'll have access to that information.
Okay, Robert. Anyone have anything to add? I guess we'll be checking back with you throughout the course of the morning.
Okay.
Thank you, Robert. Bob?
Yeah, I was just looking at some of the information. We've been talking about the tropical storm force winds all the way over on the west coast. There's no question about that. Now the tropical storm force winds do extend out about 140 miles from the center, and there's no question that that's covering the west side of the state. So we just have to hope and pray that those people heeded the warnings of their local officials. For Collier, Lee, mainland Monroe County, there have been naturally from Venice southward, they've been under a hurricane warning for these many hours, and so that certainly means rush preparations to completion and so on. So let's hope
plenty
that
of time
happens.
to prepare too.
Yeah,
They're very much in the same position we were midday yesterday.
Yeah, and hurricane force winds extend 45 miles out from the center. Now we're talking about 75 mile per hour winds and more out from the center. So the closer you get to the center, the stronger the winds. The center appears to be, as we've said several times now, it appears to be almost directly over Homestead or between Homestead and Cutler Ridge, right in that vicinity. Maybe why we're not getting too many calls is because maybe it's in a relatively unpopulated area right in there.
Let's check in now with Joe Brennan, Skywatch 610 traffic. Anything new that you've heard, Joe?
Well, I did speak with my wife, as a matter of fact, a while back out in Kendall Lake. She had some trees down. Unfortunately, one on top of her car. Not mine. I'm still waiting on mine out here with the palms in the parking lot, but so far we're braving it. In Hollywood, the lights keep going on and off here. They're off in a lot of places around Dayton, Broward counties this morning. Palm Beach as well, suffering from the transformers that are blowing all over the place. Still seeing a lot of blue sparks everywhere all around Broward County. As those go and the lines go down, the power lines come down, they hit each other, and apparently they're sparking. We're seeing a lot of that around the Tri-County area this morning as well. We do have reports of numerous power outages all around, really too numerous to mention, just quite a bit throughout Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties this morning. So far, though, the roadways are, of course, quiet and not anybody out there at this point.
And better stay that way for quite some time.
Yeah, actually, the only people I see out on the roadways are all these crazy news reporters from television. They're all over the place.
Joe, I wanted to ask ask you, how safe is it where you are at the presidential towers, it being a glass building and all?
Well, we were a little concerned with that. They said that the windows were designed to pop out at 120 miles an hour. So far, so good.
Okay.
Well, Joe, just for your edification, we're watching color radar here, and there is a strong band of a very heavy rain, possibly some thunderstorms mixed in that, coming around the top side of this thing
That yellow
into
thing.
the Hollywood area. That's where you are, right?
Yeah, got that yellow, right?
That yellow spot. Yeah, if
We're
you're seeing
watching
that, that's the one.
Yeah.
Look out for those windows.
Joe will be checking back with you throughout the morning, and we certainly appreciate all your efforts that you have been providing us with us. Why don't we take a couple of quick calls, and we'll go out to West Kendall, I believe. Good morning.
What's
Morning.
it like?
Morning. What's it like?
Yeah.
It's getting really nasty, man.
Getting or has been?
Well, it has been. It's getting even worse.
Getting worse now for you?
Well, they just, not too long ago in my development, they just put some trees. Well, they're not there anymore.
Oh, no. That's too bad.
And the way the house is situated, we're facing south. And it's a quadruplex.
Uh-huh.
So the way it's built, we're relatively lucky the way our house is built. You know, we're basically being shielded by the other three houses.
Well, after it turns, you'll shield them.
Well,
Yeah, when
I
you
got
get
a
on the
little girl
backside.
here, and I got she's sleeping like a log. But my wife, she's at Jackson Memorial. She's got to stay there for the duration. And I've given her a call and told her we're okay. My parents are up in Hialeah. They haven't heard that much. You know, I mean, they've got a big ficus tree out front, so they might have some problems up there. They're just snapping the limbs off really bad up there. I've already checked up in Hialeah. The only thing we don't have to worry about any water, I can tell you that. We got a lake behind us, but it's further enough where I don't think we're going to have any flooding or anything like that. It's just the wind that's really kicking up super bad. Our power went off at 4:22, and well, all I really need is a pizza.
Too bad, we have some here.
Maybe tonight you can go out and get one sometime tonight. What have we got now? We got another call?
Sure, let's, why don't we go to Broward County? Good morning.
August 30th,
No one there. Broward County, good morning.
Hello, Broward.
Hello, Broward.
And
That's somebody's conversation, Dan. Speaking of conversation, this is going to be talked about for a long time. Bob, what were you talking about most? That does high gust?
Oh, I think that gust, no question, and the fact that it knocked out the radar at the Hurricane Center. I'm interested to find out how much damage ensued, because that is our primary radar for South Florida. Everybody uses that radar in one way or another, including those of us in television who've called up another service that puts a composite together of the Palm Beach, Miami, Key West, Tampa radar. Miami's an integral part of that radar picture, and without it there, we're going to miss a lot of echoes.
And most people who drive US 1 have seen that dome.
Oh, yeah, you
atop
can't
the
miss it.
building.
It's the only one. It's the tallest building on US 1, right across from the campus of the University of Miami.
And it's that big dome on top that you've seen atop that building. That's the radar. That's what's been damaged.
Absolutely. Well, we don't know how bad. Maybe just a power outage on it. Well, let's hope so. But it's not up yet. We're using the Palm Beach radar right now to take a look at all of South Florida, which isn't all that bad.
No.
But we may just be missing something in the lower Keys at this point that we can't see from the Palm Beach radar. It just
It doesn't stretch far enough.
well, yeah, what happens is when a radar is set, it's a straight line beam, and the Earth curves away. So the farther away you get, the higher the beam is above the Earth.
Right.
Because the Earth is curving away and it's a straight line.
I see.
And so by the time it gets to Key West, if it's not a high thunderstorm, you're not seeing it at all.
Before we go to a break, why don't we take a quick call in Coconut Creek? Good morning.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine.
You should be in pretty good shape.
We're in real good shape out here. A few heavy gusts and no trees down. Nothing blowing around the neighborhood.
Well, you're lucky.
We're doing pretty good out here right now. Power went out about 4:10. But other than that, things are real good out here. Good luck to you.
That's good to hear.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Let's go to the Star Line very quickly.
All right.
Hey,
Good morning.
hey, how you doing?
Okay, where are you?
I'm in Pembroke Pines right now, and man, stuff is like blowing everywhere. It's really strong.
What part of Pembroke Pines?
Right off Taft Street around Hiatus Road.
Okay.
No, that's an area we're seeing on radar is just some pretty nasty. Getting some good rain there out of that too.
Yeah, pretty much so. I'm right on the lake off the golf course. And you know what, Bob? How come this didn't happen until after you left Channel 7? You know what I mean?
Just luck of the draw, I suppose.
Yeah, I tell you. But so far, trees already went down my car and stuff. I can see.
Be safe and stay tuned.
Yeah, I sure am. Thanks a lot. All right, I appreciate it.
Have a good morning. It's 20 minutes past the hour now. We'll take a quick break. You are listening to live, continuous coverage of Hurricane Andrew. I'm Dan Stewart, meteorologist Bob Soper, Henry Barrow, Beth Adams, Chuck Myer. We're all in full swing now, so stay with us throughout the morning here on WIOD.
For the latest on evacuation information, traffic conditions, and up-to-the-minute tracking of Hurricane Andrew, stay with South Florida's news, traffic, and weather station.
News Talk Radio, 620 WSUN. We're tracking Hurricane Andrew all through.
We really don't know what we're going to find, and of course, people we're talking to, we're talking to people that are hopefully staying inside their houses and talking to us and letting us know what they perceive is happening outside. I don't think we'll know until daybreak.
Then the destruction threat will increase as this moves further inland.
As it continues to move inland, is likely it's not over yet, folks. It's not over. You know, it's going to continue moving. We still see strong winds extending out into the ocean and squally weather. I think what's happening up at Deerfield Beach is a little squall coming around the backside of this thing now. And but I don't perceive the whole area is getting stronger winds. I think this is an isolated instance up around Deerfield and maybe out in Sunrise, and it's like local instances. Whereas down around Cutler Ridge and South Miami and places like that, I think this is a intense situation where it's a continuous strong wind.
Let's take a quick call on Sunrise before we get to the latest numbers. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Okay. How are you?
Good. Fine. I don't know where Elaine Ettore is, but I can assure you down is not Sunrise. We're Sunrise Key down on Victoria Park on the water, and we've certainly had gusts of 100 miles an hour. I just had a big tree snapped in two, came straight down on my pool. We're getting tremendous gusts down here.
What have you done to prepare? Are you ready for this?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, we've got a very sound house. We've got everything, except we have no power. That went out about 4:15 this morning. But we still have water, and we still have telephones.
Is your electricity out now?
Yeah, electricity's gone. Yeah, it's out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, stay tuned, okay?
Will do.
And be safe. Thank you. Bob, what have we got for the latest numbers?
The latest numbers are the hurricane is on land right near Turkey Point, continuing to move toward the west at about 18 miles per hour. This is as of 5 a.m., so it's pretty close to accurate, 25.4 north, 80.3 west, still moving, as we say, west at 18 miles per hour. Maximum sustained winds near 140 miles per hour. Hurricane force winds extend outward from the center, 45 miles, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 140 miles from the center. So it's going to take some time for the stuff that's over the ocean to move all the way across the state. And the central pressure in the storm, as registered by an Air Force Reserve Unit aircraft, is at 27.52 inches, and that's one of the lowest I've seen since we started tracking this with me around 4 o'clock this afternoon. 5 o'clock, was it? 6 o'clock, somewhere in there?
What's one of the lowest barometric readings you can ever recall in South Florida?
I think 26, if I'm not mistaken, it was either 27.35 or 26.35, and oddly enough, that was in the Keys storm in 1935, the Labor Day storm, the lowest on, as I recall, on record.
Tracking the color radar and literally watching this eye move across the southern portions of Florida, we're seeing the highlighted sections, the yellow sections, Bob.
Yes.
It looks as though some heavy rain may be looping around into Broward County.
Yeah, looping around the backside of that. Some of that is out by the Bimini's and edging its way closer to the Broward County shoreline than toward anywhere else. But you'll notice that the circle, now that it gets farther on land, the circle around the center of this storm, this hurricane, is becoming more compact, more complete now again, where before it was showing signs of breaking up. Could have been buildings, could have been trees, could have been any sort of thing. Could be Cutler Ridge, could be the ridge breaking it up a little bit. Now it seems to be more coherent again. You can see that entire thing. But also we're seeing seeing a couple of pretty heavy spots, one up by Hollywood by Joe Brennan, and the other one down in south central Broward, and that stuff all moving toward the west en masse, and the individual rainfall areas, depending on where you are moving in like a circular counterclockwise fashion around the center of this storm, which extends all the way down to the middle and lower Keys.
Chuck, it seems to me that we're covering two versions of this storm, not only for the sake of ourselves in Fort Lauderdale, but now that Fort Myers is in mandatory evacuations now, we're going to have to deal with the West Coast now as well.
Well, Bob will be the answer here, but it's just redefining itself. It's cutting right across the state. It's not going to let up a whole lot.
Yeah, it may lose a small amount, but it really appears that it's going to maintain enough strength to be a reasonable hurricane as it gets over south of Naples. And so then what we're talking about is it reestablishing itself likely out over the Gulf of Mexico when it gets that heat source again. While it's over the land, especially at night, it's going to lose a little bit of strength because it's over land. Land doesn't have as much heat as water does. And so as it moves out over the Gulf of Mexico, it'll still have plenty of structure, it looks like, to maintain itself.
We've had a lot of those calls from south central Broward about heavy winds and trees down, and another call a little while ago from someone at the country club, near the country club of Miami, which I think is on 87th Avenue and about, Miami Gardens Drive. So that's out far northwest Dade.
Yeah.
Tree over the roof there, so they've got a tree coming through their roof. And we got a call a few minutes ago from Coral Gables from the mayor's daughter, Susan Corrigan, who says she's lost her avocado tree. Lost her power as of an hour and 15 minutes ago. Big tree damage, too, in Coral Gables. And there's all kinds. Well, Henry's been outside, believe it or not.
We've got some trees down right here.
We have a lot of...
Out the front door.
Do we really?
Over here, right where Mr. Anson's car is parked, normally. And that shed that covers those cars is losing its roof piece by piece.
Oh, yeah.
We've lost the blades of the fan, but Chuck, that dang cover is still out there. The canvas cover.
Can you believe the canvas cover may survive?
We predicted that would be the first thing to go.
Yeah, we sure did.
News Talk Radio, 620 WSUN. St. Petersburg, Tampa, Clearwater. It's 5:30. This is Keith Connors. We will rejoin WIOD in Miami live throughout the morning for updates from Miami on Hurricane Andrew. It's Monday, August 24th. The time is 5:31.
Good morning. I'm Ken Stevens.
And I'm Sharon Taylor. And this
we had. Also, many people found bottled water gone as early as noon in some places. Also, hot items, flashlights, and batteries.
If you have not yet planned what to do, decide quickly because our weather in the Bay Area will deteriorate throughout the day. It's expected to anyway. Lots of high winds and rain expected, possibly some flooding. Know where the closest evacuation shelter is located if you need to leave in a hurry.
And be sure you remember any medicine you might need. Bring a pillow, a blanket, a portable radio with extra batteries, some extra food. Make provisions for your pets. They won't be allowed in the shelters.
The time at News Talk Radio 620 WSUN is 5:35. 35 after 5, time to update weather and traffic.
The forecast from the 620 WSUN Weather Center. There is a hurricane warning from Venice south through today, a tropical storm warning, and hurricane watch north of Venice to Bayport, including the Tampa Bay area through today, and a tornado watch in effect until 11 o'clock this morning for Manatee and Sarasota counties, also for Polk, DeSoto, Hardy, Highlands, Charlotte, and Lee counties, and their coastal waters. Otherwise today, rainy with hurricane and tropical storm force winds decreasing in the afternoon, highs in the upper 80s. Tonight and tomorrow, partly cloudy, chance for more afternoon and evening thunderstorms, lows in the low 70s, the high near 90. Bay Area temperatures in Tampa, 78 degrees. In St. Petersburg and Clearwater, it's 81.
Now on News Talk Radio 620 WSUN Traffic Patrol Update with Bob Donald.
In Hillsborough County, one accident to watch out for. That's at 131st Avenue, right at Bruce B. Downs. No problems in the interchange. Light volume, all lanes open there, and light to moderate volume traveling northbound on I-75, US 41 and 301 coming up from Manatee County. You'll find no problems or delays on those traffic road systems at this time. Pinellas County, accident-free. Structure fire slowing you down in St. Petersburg. A lot of fire department activity at 12th Street and 11th Avenue North, but that's mainly residential. The big bridges looking good. All lanes are open. Bob Donald, 620 WSUN Traffic Patrol.
Coming up on News Talk Radio 620 WSUN, the latest coordinates on Andrew, plus the forecast from Mike Alberts.
You're listening to Tampa Bay's Morning News on 620 WSUN. It's 5:36.
News Talk Radio, 620 WSUN. The time is 5:39, 21 minutes away from 6 o'clock. This is Keith Connors. We're giving you live coverage from WIOD in Miami throughout the morning. And the updates on Hurricane Andrew, it has touched shore in Miami. The weather forecast for the Tampa Bay area, rainy with hurricane and tropical storm force winds, decreasing in the afternoon today, high in the upper 80s. Tonight and Tuesday, partly cloudy. Chance of more afternoon and evening thunderstorms, lows in the low 70s with highs near 90. Now we'll go to the Weather Center in just a minute and get a complete update with Mike Albert, who's been standing by for the past 48 hours or so. Right now in Tampa, 78 degrees. In St. Petersburg and Clearwater, it's 81 degrees.
Andrew has come ashore near Homestead. Hurricane warnings remain in effect for the Florida East Coast from Vero Beach down south through the Keys to the dry Tortugas, including Florida Bay. Now also hurricane watch and a tropical storm warning remain in effect for the Florida East Coast from Vero north to Titusville, also the Florida West Coast north of Venice to Bayport, and that includes us here in the Tampa Bay area. Now, at 5 o'clock this morning, the center of Andrew was located near latitude 25.4 north. Longitude 80.3 west. That would be right near Turkey Point, right near Homestead. Andrew was coming ashore about 25 miles south of the downtown Miami area within the hour. It's 5:41.
19 minutes before 6 o'clock. This is Tampa Bay's Morning News, News Talk Radio 620 WSUN. Obviously, we'll be tracking Hurricane Andrew throughout the morning, so our format, and as you are used to it, it's all out the window for the morning. Mike Albert standing by in the 620 WSUN Weather Center. Mike, what's the latest?
Well, it has been an incredible couple of days, that is for sure. I do want to pass along that residents of Hardy, Polk, Manatee, Sarasota, Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Pasco, and Hernando counties should be prepared for increasingly strong easterly winds and squalls with higher wind gusts and heavy rain developing during the late morning. And it's going to continue through tonight. If we have any luck at all, it will begin to dissipate just a bit during the afternoon hours. We're certainly not going to bear the full brunt of this thing. We can feel very fortunate for that. Our friends down south are really going through something at this time. But still, we are going to get quite an impact from this storm, and we have not seen anything yet. So that is something to definitely keep in mind, as well as the fact that we do remain under a hurricane watch in this area, and we will continue with that until further notice.
I think that's the important thing to remember, too, Mike, is that we are still under the hurricane watch, and once this thing skips across land, we don't know where it'll go.
No, absolutely not. We do know one thing about these storms, and that is that they are entirely unpredictable.
As it stands right now, if the path holds, then the Tampa Bay area would, for the most part, escape all of the real destructive stuff, and we'll look at like 40, 50-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah,
right?
If Andrew stays its course, it's going to rip across Florida and roar into the Gulf of Mexico, somewhere we think between Naples and Fort Myers. And officials are worrying down in Miami that Andrew may gain strength as it crosses the Gulf waters and head toward Louisiana and New Orleans.
Okay. And keep in mind, folks, and you too, Mike, as well, that occasionally I'll be monitoring WIOD in Miami. When we get breaking news, I will just dump our local broadcast and go right down to Miami.
They have been doing a wonderful job, by the way.
They've got some serious situations going on right now. We'll try to get a quick check of traffic, and we'll check back with Mike in just a minute. Weather and traffic every 6 minutes, 10 times each hour on Tampa Bay's Morning News. The time at News Talk Radio, 620 WSUN, is 5:43, 17 minutes before 6. Time for a 620 WSUN traffic patrol update now. Here's Bob Donnell.
The high wind warning signs are lit out on the Sunshine Skyway, but no reported problems with traffic there. Very light volume heading across the Sunshine Skyway. You will find all lanes open. No problems on the Howard Franklin. Some building volume leaving the Pinellas side, but nothing unusual there. Courtney Campbell and Yanny Bridge is looking real good this morning. One accident wrapping up in Hillsborough County. That's at 131st Avenue in Bruce B. Downs. And Pinellas County checking in accident-free. Bob Donnell, 620 WSUN Traffic Patrol.
News Talk Radio 620 WSUN. It's 5:43, 17 minutes away from 6 o'clock. 78 degrees right now in Tampa. It's 81 degrees in St. Petersburg and Clearwater. This is Keith Connors. I'm trying to monitor WIOD in Miami as I'm speaking to you now. Hurricane Andrew has already reached Miami, and the eye of the storm is onshore right now in some areas. Be sure and monitor News Talk Radio 620 WSUN throughout the morning. As you know, things may not be too serious for us today. We're hoping if the hurricane stays on track, but it can change at any time. Mike Albert's working for you in the Weather Center, Bob Donnell in the Traffic Center, and Ken Stevens and Sharon Taylor in the News Talk Radio 620 WSUN newsroom. This is News Talk Radio 620 WSUN. It's 5:45, 15 before 6.
You're listening to Tampa Bay's Morning News. Good morning. I'm Sharon Taylor.
And I'm Keith Connors. We're tracking Hurricane Andrew live via our sister station WIOD in Miami throughout the morning. And when we have breaking information on the situation in Miami, we'll let you know. Also, the newsroom is working as South Florida is getting battered by Andrew.
We'll let you know about the weather and traffic updates.
And all the information you need all morning long is right here on News Talk Radio 620 WSUN.
And our top story, we're going to have a few reminders for you. In case you didn't do this yesterday, you want to go out this morning and put some gasoline in your car. Don't let your car tank be less than half full right now, because if the weather gets bad enough and deteriorates later, the gas pumps might not work. So go ahead and go out this morning and fill up your gas tank. If you don't have enough canned goods on hand and some non-perishable foods, go out and see if you can pick some up. The packaged foods can be anything that can be prepared without cooking, and something that doesn't need to be refrigerated, because remember, we could possibly have no electricity or gas. And also remember to get a hand crank type can opener so you can get into those canned foods. Containers for drinking water, be sure you have clean, airtight containers so you can store plenty of drinking water for several days. If the case comes to that, the municipal supply could be interrupted or maybe even contaminated in some areas, hopefully not quite here in the Bay Area. Materials also to protect any glass openings. If you have some masking tape and haven't put that up on any big glass doors, do that this morning. Maybe some sheet lumber and get that up across to protect it from any flying objects, and any kind of emergency repair gear you might need. Also, get your insurance policy papers just in case you need them. It's 5:46.
Yeah, that'll be 14 minutes before 6 o'clock. Have you been through one of these before, Miss Sharon?
I've been through a few.
You've been winded several times.
Yeah. I was in Hurricane Donna even.
Hurricane Donna?
Yeah.
Wow.
Before you were born. But
wow, I was just going to say you're
I know. Yes, I know.
Showing us what you got here, aren't you?
Just a mere youngster, but I did.
Well, you're doing a great job this morning. I know you guys have been around for hours and hours, and I'm a little nervous, though. I don't know whether to, to run or whatever. I sent the wife packing yesterday.
Did you? Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, just in case, because now if this thing gets into the Gulf and does turn, things could get, even a tropical storm, can cause some flooding because I'm right on the water.
Oh, sure.
So, 5 feet of water will put some water in my house, and with the little kids in the house, you don't want that.
I know what you mean.
You can go ahead and make your decisions now. Now's the time to go ahead and make them. If you do, if you want to just be better safe than sorry, then take care of that. And like Miss Sharon said, even the important papers, if you need to pack them. And by all means, just have the stuff loaded in the car. If you're not ready to make a decision, go ahead and prepare so that when the time comes to make a decision, you're ready. Right? So it's a 5-minute deal. Pack the stuff, get in the car, you're all gassed up, you've got your water, you've got all the things you need, okay? It's 5:47, 13 minutes away from 6 o'clock at News Talk Radio 620 WSUN. Let's go into the traffic room right now. News Talk Radio 620 WSUN. With a traffic update, here's Bob Donnell.
In Hillsborough County, they're wrapping up one earlier accident, 131st Avenue and Bruce B. Downs. Interchange volume looking real good. No major problems on the interstate system at all at this time. Northbound on I-75, US 41 and 301 coming up from Manatee County. Very light to moderate volume. You will find all lanes open there. No problems or delays reported. The high wind warning signs are lit out on the Sunshine Skyway, but very light volume on the Big Bridge. Howard Franklin, Courtney Campbell, and Ganny looking real good so far this morning. And Pinellas County, accident-free. Bob Donnell, 620 WSUN Traffic Patrol.
Bob, a couple of quick questions.
Yes.
Nothing out of the ordinary this morning.
Nothing out of the ordinary. Talked to the Florida Highway Patrol. They said traffic's looking real good right now around the Bay Area.
Is it extremely quiet? More folks not going into work today, obviously.
Well, the school system's being closed in Hillsborough County, not yet started. In Pinellas County, we have no bus traffic volume or kids going to school this morning, so that's very light there. And I understand a couple of businesses have closed on the Hillsborough side, so we have some light volume on the roads.
All right. So, when they turn on the high wind signs on the bridges, what does that mean for us? There's plenty of there's plenty of space. There's nobody out there, but would they just slow down to like 20 miles an hour?
Well, they just want use some caution with the high-profile vehicles over the big span there, just in case some wind gusts should happen to get up in the 25-30 mile per hour range there.
And the bigger the vehicle, the bigger the problem with the wind.
Could be.
Okay.
But right now it's mainly, I think, a precautionary move on the part of the Sunshine Skyway, just to slow down motorists.
Thank you, sir. We'll be checking back with you in a few minutes.
Thank you.
It's 5:49, 11 minutes away from 6 o'clock at News Talk Radio 620 WSUN. Let's see what Mike Albert has for us in the 620 WSUN Weather Center.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Sharon may have been through Hurricane Donna, but the one that they are all comparing this to is actually an unnamed storm. It occurred back in 1935, and it really devastated the Keys. It killed about 400 people, packing winds estimated at about 200 miles an hour. So hopefully some good lessons were learned from that. Unfortunately, we're going to learn some lessons from this, too. Mostly bad, I think. The people that think that they can sit this sort of thing out, I think they're making a big mistake. This is a major storm. Got a bulletin. The most recent information appears to be that it is heading now for Marco Island, and we will certainly let you know all about that information. A little bit past 5 o'clock this morning, the National Hurricane Center, Keith, is located in Coral Gables. They got a wind gust there at the National Hurricane Center of 164 miles an hour, and that knocked out their radar. So we're still trying to find out some additional information from them, but it is really tough to conduct business when you've got such a major storm affecting your own area. So I really feel for the folks down there right now.
All right, Mike, we'll be checking back with you throughout the morning. Don't go anywhere and roll up those pad legs, okay?
You betcha.
It's 5:50, 10 minutes away from 6 o'clock at News Talk Radio 620 WSUN. We're following Hurricane Andrew throughout the morning, and we'll be checking back momentarily with our sister station WIOD in Miami. We'll go to them live in just a minute. We'll also tell you about some special needs persons. If you have special needs and you are considering evacuation, we just want to make sure that you're prepared in case you have some local flooding or anything like that. Not to set a panic in, because actually things don't look too bad for us right now. If Hurricane Andrew remains on the path that it has taken and shoots across the lower peninsula and into the Gulf of Mexico, we may see high winds of 40 to 50 miles per hour, but that hopefully will be it, along with heavy rains, maybe some locally heavy showers causing some flooding a little bit later on this morning. This is News Talk Radio 620 WSUN. News Talk Radio 620 WSUN. It's 5:54, 6 minutes away from 6 o'clock. This is Keith Connors. We're following Hurricane Andrew, of course, throughout the morning, and we will be checking in with our sister station, WIOD, in Miami. No late-breaking news down there as far as damage reports or anything like that, but we'll have that for you. Right now, they're just basically checking in with individuals throughout the Miami metropolitan area and getting local reports, and actually, I'm surprised at how many people are, hanging in there. And those folks are getting all that they expected, and then some, with high winds and some storm damage to roofs of houses that they're speaking to and businesses and so forth. For us in the local area, rainy with hurricanes and tropical storm force winds decreasing by this afternoon with a high in the upper 80s. Right now in Tampa, 78 degrees. It's 81 in St. Petersburg and Clearwater. And now, if she's ready, Sharon Taylor will update us on 620 WSUN News and see what's going on with Andrew.
Sure, we thought we'd let you know about some of the things that are going to be closed today. Public schools in Hillsborough County are closed, including all personnel, unless you are called. University of South Florida is shut down. Hillsborough Community College closed for today. University of Tampa is closed, but the classes aren't due to begin until midweek anyway. Berkeley Prep is closed today. Pinellas classes have not yet begun, so we don't need to worry about that. St. Pete Junior College is closed. Eckerd College is open. They're going to be deciding that this morning, whether they will open or not. Now, Manatee schools are closed. Also, Manatee Community College closed for the day. Public schools also closed in Sarasota County, and the University of South Florida campus there also closed in Fort Myers. DeSoto County public school year does not begin until day after tomorrow. Public schools are closed in Hardy, closed in Highlands, closed in Polk County, but Polk Community College is supposed to be open today. Pasco school year has not begun yet. St. Leo College, we have not heard from them yet. Pasco Hernando Community College also, we have not heard from them either. Hernando public schools are, they were going to be open earlier, but I believe those are going to be closed in Hernando. And perhaps we'll get a call, we'll get a confirmation on that. Citrus public schools not open yet. At any rate, a long list of places that are going to be closed. Most government and state offices are to be closed around the Bay Area today. List of citizen information numbers to call: Hillsborough 272-6900, and in Pinellas County, that number is 462-4333. If you need some information, those are the numbers you can call. It's 557.
3 minutes before 6 o'clock at News Talk Radio 620 WSUN. 78 degrees now in Tampa, 81 in St. Petersburg and Clearwater. Mike, do you have any new information for us?
Just a little bit. We just got a 6 a.m. reading, and the center of Hurricane Andrew is estimated near latitude 25.5 degrees north, longitude 80.6 degrees west, or just to the west of Homestead, and 25 miles southwest of Miami. This position's also 85 miles east-southeast of Naples. Keith?
All right. Thank you very much, sir. And like I said, we'll be checking back with our sister station, WIOD, in Miami live. We'll try to do that. I'll try to pick them up at about 6:15 this morning, okay, in about 15 minutes. We want to take care of all the local information for you, let you know what's closed and what's not, and what effect the storm will have on the Tampa Bay area. And, of course, just south of us, as our listening area covers most of central Florida. Those folks are certainly in on the hurricane warning. It's from Venice south through today. We don't know what path the storm will take once it crosses over the land area, but they're predicting that it will shoot right into the Gulf and then straight across the Gulf. It could change, so we advise you to just keep monitoring News Talk Radio 620 WSUN. Make sure by all means that one of those things that you pick up at the store are batteries for a portable radio, okay? Just in case, because we could have some flooding in the area, and that would mean power outages and so forth. This is News Talk Radio 620 WSUN.